Good afternoon. Robbie, that was a great presentation, and some of these slides are definitely going to merge into what you said. But my talk is about why NFTs will unlock a $200 billion collectibles market on the blockchain. In fact, in Robbie's presentation, he actually said 370 billion. But what's 170 billion between friends? Eh? It's big. That's all we need to care about. So basically, I'm going to start with this. Content is king. In fact, without content, there's nothing for anybody to buy. And Bill Gates famously wrote or penned an essay back in 1996, and he came up with this idea of content being king. And the reason he said that was because that was when the internet was starting to get going. And in fact, there were probably about 35 million people using the internet back in that time, most of them on dial-up, which is, fast forward to now, probably the same size as the blockchain market, with about 35 million wallets. So it's quite interesting, the size of this market, to when Bill Gates mentioned this. And the reason he mentioned it is because content was king and distribution was cheap. You know, to send, suddenly the internet was there, to send videos, music, pictures, was now really cheap to send via the internet. But fast forward 2 decades, and actually it's completely changed. Now content isn't king, distribution is king. And if no one can find your content, then the content is worthless. And the cost of discovery now is just becoming too expensive for most content providers to get their content found. And if you think about this, you know, where would Games of Thrones be without HBO? Where would Angry Birds be without the distribution of the app stores? Where would Pokemon be without Nintendo? Content today is being strangled by distribution. So it's the distributors that decide what you want, not the content creator. However, thanks to the blockchain, it's now switched back to the content creator. And I'll come on to the meat of that further down in this presentation. But before I carry on, let me explain who we are. So I'm Tony Pearce, co-founder of Reality Gaming Group. My other co-founder, Morten, is sitting over there. We founded the company back in 2017. And the idea was to build mass market games that used blockchain or utilized blockchain technology and NFTs. And we have built 2 platforms, one an augmented reality geolocation platform, which is now in use, and the second one is what we call the DAT platform, which stands for Digital Asset Trading Platform for NFTs, of which both of those combine. And I'll take you through that in more detail further on. This kind of crossed over into Robbie's, you know, what is an NFT? Well, we believe it's a game changer, a new asset class, and true digital ownership. But for those not familiar with what's the difference between a fungible token and a non-fungible token, well, simply fungible basically means that you can swap something else for it. So, for instance, a dollar bill can be swapped with another dollar bill, a pound note can be swapped with another pound note, a Bitcoin can be swapped with a Bitcoin. A non-fungible item is completely the opposite characteristics. So it is unique. So take a plane ticket, right? They look the same, but on each ticket is a different name, different seat, different destination. They are unique tickets. That is non-fungible. So in the games business, an NFT is a one-of-a-kind item that give players real ownership over their in-game assets. And gamers can monetize their assets by actually owning, as Robbie mentioned, and selling their assets that they buy in the game, or take them out, true interoperability, and use them in other games. I mean, this really is, in what we believe, a true game changer. And we're seeing, you know, the way the NFT market is going and the prices that people are prepared to pay for some of these because of the scarce ability, and that's the key thing, going back to the one-off, one-of-a-kind only. You can see here, so from Gods Unchanged, they sold a card for $60,000. Magic the Gathering sold a card for $87,000. Back to F1 Delta, sold an F1 car for $110,000 last year, and famously CryptoKitties for $170,000. One cat was sold. Now these are the types of money people are prepared to buy these one-of-a-kind NFTs. So basically, for decades, gamers have spent billions buying in-game items, but with no ownership, no rights or control. Now, we are changing this. We're developing a mass market games so that people can just play the game, understand it through, in our case, through the app stores, and then realise that they can trade their in-game items called NFTs. And the first game that we've actually launched this on is live now as an MVP. It's currently in soft launch, but you can download it, and that's Reality Clash. So Reality Clash is the world's first AR mobile combat game combined with in-game digital item trading for NFTs. So easiest way to explain this Pokemon game, it's Call of Duty. You download it, you join your friends outside, you go and defend parks, and you go into combat through AR. I'll give you a quick trailer here. Okay, so it really is a super fun, super cool game, but with the addition of you being able to buy limited edition items which you can then trade with your friends. So we are the first game studio that is on the Apple Store that you can buy items outside the App Store, download them into the game, use them, withdraw them into the App Store and then sell them. So this is the first time that this has happened on mobile, and hence why we're going mass market games to get people in to enjoy the game and then come across these tradable items. So obviously with tradable items, you have to buy them from our shop, not through the App Store. This is an example of our store. When you go there, you get the image of the gun, and then it tells you how many there are and how many's left. So once they're sold out, we don't make any more again, hence the rarability. And you buy them with our Reality Clash coin, which is a token. That token can be bought from us with a credit card. Again, we're trying to make it very simple, like a normal virtual coin from any game, although it's a crypto token, so therefore you can also buy it from exchanges. So why buy these items? Well, because of the rarability again, and the fact that you can look cool in this game. So buy them before they sell out. Once they're sold out, never developed again. Each gun is logged on the Ethereum blockchain, which is the chain that we use, with a certificate and proof of purchase that's emailed to you once you buy it. The item history is logged, so this is quite fascinating with NFTs, is we can track its life forever. So we know who has owned that, and in fact the new owner will know how many times it's been traded, how many times it's been downloaded into the game, how many headshots and how many kills it's had, forever. So people can track these histories, which is very new and quite unique. Obviously, you can use them in different games. We have a whole roadmap of games coming out that we're building where you can take these weapons and use them in the games. We're also talking to third-party developers who want to build games that use our weapons, and they can attract our community of gamers into their game. So again, it's building this great big universe of all these people that own NFTs and allowing them to pop in and out. And basically, it's a great marketing tool. Or obviously trade or sell them in the marketplace. So we have our own secondary marketplace on our website. These are weapons that have been bought from us and then put back on the marketplace to trade. If you look at this, is I've filtered down into the most expensive first, but we can't tell anyone what they want to sell it for. But if you look at this one here, that's selling for $144,000. We sold a gun was bought from us for they're roughly about £8, and last week it sold for £900. So we're starting to see people want the rare guns with the #1 serial number, or 007 seems to be really popular. And then of course, because we have our own trading site, but because they're NFTs, people can take them off of our website and go to secondary markets. So this is OpenSeas, which I'm sure you've all heard about. So people are taking weapons and going, I want to sell them here. Maybe there's a bigger community because it's full of people that own different kinds of NFTs. And people are trading them backwards and forwards here. But if you want to play them in our game, you have to come back to our website and open an account. When you get the mobile game, you link accounts, and you can download those guns into the game, play them and withdraw them. Now, you could play the mobile game without ever caring about this because there's a whole separate list of weapons that you can buy from the App Store, and it has its own in-app currency from the App Stores. But you will come across players with these type of guns and go, where do they get them? And at that point, forums and people will start going, go to these secondary marketplaces and you can buy them. Hence, we're coming at it from an angle of mass market gaming and tripping over NFTs because they're going, where did they get that from? And then understanding that they can buy these tradable weapons through our website. So we're certainly not a blockchain game. We are a mobile game, but has a blockchain element. And the stats of this is quite incredible. We saw 75% of our guns sell out in 24 hours. We've had 1.5 million Reality Clash coins spent in our store, and 10,000 guns, tradable guns, have been sold to date. But this is another fascinating thing we're looking at. And again, with NFTs, it's how do you get users really engaged in a game? Well, you get them to make their own NFTs. And as long as we approve them, they can then be sold in our marketplace. So we're creating these, what we call weapon factories, which allow gamers to make NFTs. Here's an example of a pre-roll that we did. So players can make NFTs, we approve them, they go into our marketplace, they earn money. And actually what we can do is track the history of their item, and they can continually own royalties forever and ever the more it's traded. So really fascinating part of the future of NFTs, and this isn't live yet, but we're looking at how we move forward with that next year. And then, of course, other games. We're looking at a tower defense game where you can use our weapons. We're looking at a sniper game. We're looking at target games, little mini games that you can take the guns out and play in. So with the case study of all this, what we're offering to any games company or any developer or any brand, we're offering them the ability for us to make NFTs for them with our new DApp platform. So if you're interested in creating NFTs, if you have a game and you want to now add this in or start from scratch, we offer this facility of tokenizing your in-game assets, all secured on the blockchain. We're agnostic on the chains. It can be Ethereum, Tron, EOS. We just happen to use the Ethereum blockchain. We can allow history tracking of items, wallet creations, payment solutions. We can withdraw and import NFTs into games, and we can create your marketplace. So we can offer all of this. Reality Clash is a good case study of how it works. So I'm going to finally leave you with this. So the games market last year was 152 billion, of which 68 billion was mobile games revenue. But what people don't realise is that 68 billion is made up of 3% of people spending money in games. I mean, that's quite incredible. You think of, Bejeweled, all these massive games, Clash of Clans, only 3% of people buy items in those games. And that already equates to nearly 70 billion. And we truly, and when you're buying those items, you don't own anything. Literally, you're spending money, you're never going to see it back. And we truly believe that with NFTs, now the fact that you actually own something and the fact that you can sell it and make your money back won't just increase this market by 1 or 2%. It'll increase it 5, 10, 15%. And that's what takes it into a $100 billion business or $200 billion business, and content becomes king again. That's it. Thank you.
Very good. Lots of time for questions.
Yeah.
Questions for Tony. If you just wait for the microphone coming. If you can tell us who you are, that would be helpful.
Come again?
Just tell us who you are as well.
Hello, my name is João. I'm from Portugal. I'm a big believer in NFTs, and of course I have some questions, which doesn't mean I'm against it. Far from that. So one of them is, you have an asset that's represented in 3D. And you have different engines the way they render the element. How do you protect, or how do you make sure that the item is well represented, or if you even care about it or not, or that you just care about the tracking of the asset?
Are you talking about the creation of the NFT, the user-generated stuff, or
how it is then represented?
if I understand so the way that it works in Reality Clash is we don't license any of the guns. We make them from scratch. They're our own IP.
It means if you store like the graphics on blockchain, or if it's like server-based, is that what you mean? Like,
yeah,
art
basically.
is that on IPFS, or it's your server art, and you just hold the token?
Maybe Norton can answer.
It's not IFPS. It's centralized right now. Simply because it's too costly to store on the blockchain as it is right now.
Okay, okay. And
the image it actually gets from the server, yeah.
Okay.
But it is something, as soon as technology gets better, it's getting cheaper, then definitely the whole thing will be stored on the blockchain.
Decentralized, yeah. One other question is, you as you said, you are mobile, and you do the NFTs, and there's a marketplace which is alternative, and so I can imagine that marketplaces like Apple and Google are or will want also to have a stake on whatever is sold alternatively to their marketplaces. How do you deal with it, or do you plan on future issues and how to tackle them?
Yeah, we have an agreement with Apple that they do get a share of any NFT that comes into the game. I can't tell you what that is, but we do.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But it will change dependently. Let's imagine with Google, you will happen to be in different marketplaces, not only Google Play.
Yeah, we're both in both the same type of commercials. And they have to get their revenue. They will never allow everyone going outside the App Store to buy stuff and downloading it. There has to be an unlock fee or some kind of kickback to them, which is tracked.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Anyone else? No? Lovely. Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you.